Bow down before my psycho power.
We often talk about wanting better stories for characters, but I think something that's very much overlooked is the stages of Tekken. I would love to see for the stages of Tekken to get an explanation. Of course, you don't need to explain why a mall is a mall or an airport is an airport, but there's some stages, like even in Tekken 7 in the jungle. If you think about the platform in which you're fighting, there's a lot of meaning to that, but we don't know what it is. There's a downed helicopter that leads to this like kind of collapsed temple, markings all over the ground. It's things like that that I would like for some sort of like explanation. Where is it in the world? Is it an Aztec temple? Is it somehow related to Ogre? There's some stages where it looks like it has a lot of meaning behind it, but we don't know it. At the beginning of the TGA trailer, there was a giant tree with Shinto or Buddhist seal. I think the Hydro clan may have teleported Jun and placed her there to recover from the fight with Ogre. If the Hydro were really interested in eliminating Heihachi and Kazuya to avoid the chaos that they caused, it would make sense for them to look for Jun and help her, as she would be a powerful ally against the danger that Kazuya ended up becoming in Tekken 8. One, I think this will be a playable stage, and a lot of people were talking about how she's like a shadowy figure here. It's almost depicted as if she's like evil or something. Whenever you have this dark shadow, that's mean like danger, you know, danger. We never seen her be depicted like that, but I can't tell how deep this actually goes. It looks like there's another door in there, but it also looks like there's something. It looks like it just keeps on going, if I'm being honest. One thing I want to note about this too is look at the rope. There's rope all over this tree, but then even in the trees in the back, all on the sides, there's ropes, and this isn't vines, these are actual ropes around all of these trees here. When we think of Jun Kazama, it's always as if like she's helping Jin or she's guiding him. But I've always wondered what would her reaction be to Jin starting the world war. There is no way she would be okay with that. And maybe this is where she joins forces with the Hydro clan. Even Kazumi had faith in Kazuya up until some certain point. But she put that secret clause in there, like if he goes down the dark path too, eliminate him. And maybe Jun Kazama could feel the same way. At the start of the video when I was talking about stages having meaning and knowing the meaning behind it, this is another stage that I will like a specific cutout of lore dedicated to this. Who put the ropes around the tree? What does it mean? I would like to know these things for story. But let's move on to the next one, because the next one is even more interesting. This one is about Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Moai excavation stage has a giant Moai with a devil marking on his chest, a possible reference to what Mokujin says in the scenario campaign about ancient times when Azale ruled the entire planet. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2, there is a stage called Moai's Cave. In the center of this cage is this giant stone like statue basically, and once you break the floor and you go underground, you can see that on his chest is devil gene markings. This raises a lot of questions, and oddly enough, the only character that gives us any kind of clues to what we're looking at is Mokujin. Mokujin is a wooden training dummy constructed from white oak over 2,000 years ago. When I read white oak, I also think back to the picture of Jun Kazama. In that realm is a lot of what I would consider white trees. I don't know if they're white oak trees, but maybe Mokujin could come from that place. We don't know. But focusing on the stage. In Tekken 6, it says not much about Azale's history is known, but according to Mokujin, Azale long ago reigned over the heavens and earth as their ruler. And according to Jun Kazama, Azale was known as the Rectifier. Other characters will also mention how Azale ruled over humans thousands of years ago. Azale seems to believe itself to be a god. It also sees itself as a neutral agent of justice and judgment, meting out the destruction on humanity in proportions to destruction that human themselves has caused. Azale is kind of like the balancer. When things becomes too unstable, he doesn't show up to bring Ragnarok. he show up to bring peace. The amount of destruction that humans call, he will return that to them full-fold. So when Jin in Tekken 6 wages war, Azale is summoned, is manifests to equal out the chaos. And this is kind of odd because it kind of reconstruct the way we think of Azale. We often think of him as a demon, a destroyer, but he is the one who seems like he's trying to protect the world, which also brings up the question, if he's trying to end the destruction that humans is causing, why is Mokujin trying to stop him from that? Mokujin seems like the protector of humanity, whether it's doing right or wrong. But Azale seems like he's the protector of nature, of the world, and if something is disturbing the balance, he will be summoned. The carving on this stone head, it just shows the importance to some of these stages. When you try to dig for answers and you try to put all the pieces together, it's just not there. And one thing about this stage 2 with Tekken Tag Tournament 2, this was added as DLC. It was not on the base roster, so that just gives it even more value. Harada said in Tekken 8, with the introduction of Jun Kazama, they will be answering a lot of questions. I hope this is one that they answer. When the world teeters on the brink of chaos, it shall appear. Why does Kuma refer to Mokujin as the messenger of the gods? Why is Mokujin serving the great will? The questions just go on and on and on. Who is excavating this? Who is doing research? Is this the Mishima Zaibatsu? Is this G Corporation? Is this Violet System? We don't know anything about this. All we have is a picture to go off of. Every single time a creature breaks out of a temple like Ogre did, or Azale breaks out of his temple, Mokujin wakes up. And I'm starting to wonder, like, what if Mokujin, all these years ago, was the ones who sealed them away? I never understood why Mokujin wakes up for Ogre when he only attacked 6 people. He wakes up for Azale when he didn't even leave his temple yet. Yet he won't attack Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, who have been rampaging for decades. Maybe the reason Mokujin isn't attacking Jin or Kazuya is because he originates from the same place that maybe the Devil Gene does. If we go back to this picture of Jun Kazama, and if we play around with the idea that Mokujin does originate from one of these trees, white oak is what it says he is built from. If he comes from the same place and there's chains which represent the Devil Gene, that means these two can be related in some way, shape, or form. So him attacking Jin or Kazuya is kind of him attacking the Devil Gene itself. But even that theory falls short because it was theorized at one point that he is where the Devil Gene originates from as well. So you can see how it so tangled the story. Every idea or theory I come up with, something in the lore disqualifies it. This is why I think it's so important that they add a description to the stages, story to the stages, so we can understand and process the story on a deeper level. In this video, I talked about 3 or 4 stages, but also in this video, I would have showed you guys pictures of so many other stages that we have no explanation of where they are, how they're related to the story, and why are people fighting in these random locations. This is something that Tekken has never really talked about up until this point, and I hope in Tekken 8 they can start. In this video, I just want to talk about some of the things that I was sent on Twitter by Mishima Zaibatsu, but also some of the things that I've just noticed over the years. Mokujin, Azale, the Devil Gene, Jun Kazama, Jin Kazuya, it's all so fascinating. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have more videos breaking down the lore of Tekken. But I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.